Hi everyone and welcome back on my channel. Today I thought I would kick off 2021 with something a little different than what we usually do. You know, every new year we sort of just set resolutions and things we want to do in the new year and how we want it to go. But honestly, there's no way to know how 2021 is gonna go at this point. No one knew what 2020 was gonna bring. I kind of prefer not setting any intentions. I mean, I will set some, but I also don't want to be heavily disappointed as we all were. So instead of saying what my resolutions are for 2021, although it can only get better, hopefully, I just sort of cozied up and I figured I would leave 2020 with sort of an introspection on it and a reflection on what it actually brought instead of focusing on the negative. Anyway, I just thought I'd leave 2020 thinking about what it taught me and what I learned. Not COVID related, like I learned for sure many things about that virus, but we leave it behind and we focus on the growth. So some of these things are kind of more serious, some of these things are silly, but I mean, there are things that I learned. I just felt like sharing with you. We can't really have a conversation since you're just watching my video, but we can definitely have one in the comments below. So if you've also learned some of these things or some others, definitely write them down in the comments and let's start a conversation about that. The first thing, probably the most obvious one, was that I thought I was an antisocial because I was getting all anxious in like social interactions sometimes, and sometimes I would rather just stay home and eat nothing than having to go outside and do my groceries. Even now, so in this situation, I really hate it, but I also crave my social. So that's one thing I learned. I'm not an antisocial, I'm just anxious. This next one is kind of stupid, at least it makes me feel really stupid that I just realized that. All this time, 25 years of life, the thing that I thought I was drawing everywhere on my like Christmas related drawings that I thought was mistletoe was actually holly. Christmas songs that say like, you know, boughs of holly. I was like, what the fuck is holly? Well, everything that's what you're drawing that you think was mistletoe. I'm an idiot. I also learned to be more patient with myself, you know, like stopping to say that I'm stupid for not knowing things, because it's okay, it happens, and that it's okay to feel a certain way, and that it's okay not to do something because you're not feeling all right. I'm still working on it, but anyway, that's something that sort of occurred to me where I was just like, chill, you don't always need to be doing something productive. Interesting fact, I learned that it is possible to have muscle knots in your rib cage. You know, like the knots that you have in your back and you're like, oh, my back hurts. The things they work on when you get a massage. Well, I have some in my rib cage. I learned that going to the doctor thinking I was having multiple heart attacks. My body is broken. I learned not to take moments and people for granted. We literally all lost our regular lives like it was for granted, but no, things change and people and things go. Self-care isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. And by self-care, I'm not meaning necessarily like spa day. I just mean like caring for yourself, you know, get regular showers, eat healthy or eat something that makes you feel good, caring to make you feel better. Yes, necessity. I learned that baby poo smells like cheese curds and that also choosing yourself is not selfish. Sometimes you have to. I learned that time really does stop when someone dies. Pumpkins surprisingly grow quickly and very easily. Just plant a seed and you got yourself a pumpkin patch. I learned that you could be feeling like shit and feeling sick and like dying as a result of a tiny innocent allergy pill that you take regularly. Check what you take, mates. Anxiety is one problem, but also can be the cause of more problems. So many. I learned that my new favorite thing is to have my cat smell grapefruits or onions and watch him hate it. And sometimes, no matter how hard you try, you gotta learn things the hard way. It's just how it's meant to be. And it sucks, but it is what it is. And I also learned that people will remove themselves or be removed from your life when they are no longer needed and can't make you grow any other way. It's painful, but you gotta trust the process and let them go. I learned that the expression dry wit doesn't necessarily mean sarcasm and funny, and that watching Afterlife isn't a good idea when you're not feeling top. I thought it was gonna be funny. I saw Ricky Gervais' face and I was like, I'm gonna laugh. No, I had to binge watch it in like one night because I couldn't go to sleep knowing what had just happened at the end of so many episodes. It's a good show though. It's not funny. Very depressing. A bit less at the end, but you gotta make it to the end, right? Now that's something I kind of already knew, but it kind of just reinforced my belief in it. Peculiar events going on in the sky really do affect us and the world in so many ways. The Great Conjunction, fucking eclipses, blah blah blah. So many kind of rare events happened all in 2020. And have you seen the scene? It's all related. Just listen to the stars. And related to that, I learned that change, it's happening right now. It's not just coming, it's happening. There's like a massive shift in the way the world is. And after these couple of years, the world is gonna be a completely different place. Pickles wrapped in cotton candy is a thing. Gross, but it exists. This world will never cease to amaze me in good and bad ways. Anger can linger on for a very long time. My brother had a baby this year and I definitely learned that if ever, I am not ready to have children. It's so much work and they're so weird. But I also miss my nephew like all the time, but they're so weird. Sometimes all you need to feel less empty is some good McDonald's. And I hate how it sounds because like I eat healthy and I like eating healthy, but sometimes I know it's shameful, but it felt so good after so long. I was just like, wow, the hole has been filled. This one is again something that I kind of knew, but it sort of became more obvious this year. Forests truly are magical places and places of peace. And if I go for a walk in the forest when I'm not feeling alright, it always works to make me feel better. I learned that I'm a good cook. I've been cooking and being creative and, you know, sort of just using my intuition when adding spices and everything. There's no major fail. It felt good and it felt rewarding and it was fun. I learned that Netflix is an easy escape, like too easy, and that the internet has taken me away from something that I really like, which is reading books, like learning from books or even just reading stories. I used to really like that, but whenever I had free time in the most recent years, I would just watch Netflix or go on the internet. I started reading more in 2020 and I really like it. I like learning from books. I like touching things. I learned that I actually like snow. Like I used to only think I liked it for Christmas and then that was it. I mean, kind of still is, but this year we don't have snow even right now. It's just cold and sad. I don't like the cold. I like snow. I learned to stop commenting on Instagram posts about my opinion because people don't want to hear your opinion. They just want to voice theirs and it will only start negative arguments and like argumentations that are going nowhere because nobody is listening to the other person. It just brings negative vibes. I just stopped replying to people. Toss it aside. Toss it aside. That one thing I'm gonna say, I had heard about it, but not in specific details. But apparently the witch craze in Salem in 1692 and 1693 was probably because they were all high/poisoned on some microfungi that's also in LSD. It's not funny, but it kind of is. And finally, there's so much more I learned, but the things that came to mind and that I thought made me grow more, yes, even the pickled cotton candy. The major things were all in this list, and that last one, I guess it could sum up 2020. The show must go on. No matter what happens, the show must go on. So there you go. Happy New Year! It's 2021! It can only get better, as I said, but let's really put our intentions out there that it will. Anyway, I'm wishing you all the luck, all the happiness possible. There's so much coming on my channel and I hope you'll join me. You can subscribe to my channel, share this video. I will see you next week with a new video, and in the meantime, you can follow me on all of my social medias to see what I do in the meantime. Stay cool. I never say that. Take care. Self-care is a necessity. So take care of yourselves, okay?
It's done for me now.
Bye.